Hey, good morning. It's Sunday, it's raining, and it's dreary. But here's some Doug's Drivel to the rescue. Who would ever thought that, huh? This week, the coaches and I over at Ladue had the chance to meet and collect the uniforms from the girls, as we do every year at the end of the season. But the year was a little different. We unpacked uniforms that were probably never even looked at, they probably didn't use. And B, it was kind of strange and surreal, as one of the coaches put it. Here we were outside with a table with masks on, and the girls in a drive-up line or a pickup line that you would see at school, or a drop-off line in this case, dropping off their uniforms, basically tossing their bag to us, peeking at us from behind their mask. There weren't the customary chit-chats and goals set for next year and talking about last year. And there was no banquet to be had this year. So I did write about a banquet a couple years ago as I was sitting there. So I thought that, keeping with the theme, that maybe I'd share this with you today. So here we go. Started by saying another school year has come and gone, and with it comes the completion of another successful season. It makes 34 years for me, 45 seasons. Actually, it would have been 36, I guess, this year, huh? Mind-boggling, actually. As I sat at our annual banquet, it was a Thursday night, the present started to become blurred with some of the past. I opened the program and thanked all the parents, the players, and my fellow coaches for making this another special season. As I recalled some of the highlights of what made it so special, the record and statistics took a back seat to so many of the other intangibles. The underlying theme of the night was a sense of family that is created in the midst of playing soccer. Young ladies that came to us in the chill of February as individuals with personal goals were now leaving us in the warmth of May with a feeling of, look what we did together. Girl after girl was spoken about, and they walked up to receive their own individual recognition, but the pictures in the video, their personal speeches, the camaraderie, hugs, and tears told the real story. So many of the things we do here at Ladue, where I coach now, are byproducts of what we did so many years at Pattonville, where I was for 25 years. I'm very proud of that. So my mind wandered to so many of the great memories that I had of those years, the extraordinary men and women that I coached with, Childers, Bray, Williams, Ifrig, and Mike Riley. They've melded into names like Durham, Cross, Prang, and Ehrenberg. Memories of the great sweeper debate, the dash by Flash to win the district final. Well done, son. The penalty kick shootout in the Ice Bowl district final, odds over evens, and diving headers in the mud. They've morphed into, how about the upper 90 at least? And we watch as she hits a 30-yard shot in the upper corner. Swanee driving all the way back from a cancer treatment for her mom in Indiana just to play in her game that day. And Claire Bear making a 50-yard run, beating everyone in front of her and dusting out the keeper to top it all off. Well done, sweetheart. Although the individual memories are different, they still come with all the same nuances, the same blood, sweat, tears, the same loving, the same caring. Well, as the banquet came to a close, I was hearkened back to the present by a mother of one of my players. She introduced herself, and with tears in her eyes, she said, "Do you have any idea?" Now, normally when a parent says that to me, I'm looking for the door and heading out the other way, because I never know what she's going to say. But she says, "Do you have any idea how much my daughter loves and adores you?" No, I really didn't. She says, being a freshman in a new school district has brought her many challenging times this year. But being on this team, being coached by you, has seen her through those challenging times. You have supported her and challenged her like no other person we have met. When she was going through one of her toughest times, I sent her this picture. She then proceeds to show me a picture of her daughter and me on the sideline of one of our games. My hand is on her shoulder. I remember it vividly. We were in Kansas City. She was frustrated in her play. I had a few apparently calming words for her. Imagine that, a picture of her kid and me on a sideline of a soccer game can have that kind of effect. So you can probably guess, more hugs and big tears. Yes, all three of us. Was the season a success? Oh yes, on so many different levels. So as I watched over the scene of hugs and more hugs, tears and more tears, pictures being taken, and girls scurrying off together to go to their parties, A quote from Richard Dreyfuss in the movie Stand By Me played in my head. He said, "I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? And okay, they're not 12, but the analogy seemed to be spot on in this case. Just like it was with my boys all those years, which was so evident as adults when dozens of you sat on the deck into the morning hours, reliving those same days, those very days. So for those of you who will throw shade on sports and their contribution to a declining moral fiber of society, I offer proof of just the opposite. Some people involved in sports have just lost sight of this. So just as my answer is, if there were a better place for them to play, I would put them there when asked, why do you still coach your own kids? I answer the same way when asked, why do you still coach other people's kids? If I think I can still give them this experience, then I will continue to do so. Space and time does not really allow for all the memories from these 45 seasons. So if you're reading this at the time, or if you're listening to this, please feel free to share. And yes, I absolutely will have a drink with you. So it was nice to see you, C Squared. I miss seeing you, Kaylee. But we'll meet again, and we'll go after this again in February. We'll have another great season, and maybe next year we'll end with a nice banquet. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching, and cheers.